We are joined by the one, the only, Cody Durden. What's going on, Cody?
Hey, custom made Cody Durden, baby.
Oh, my bad. Do you know what? I forgot it on Saturday night. I said, and then I walked out. I was like, shit, I forgot his nickname. I said, Cody Durden. I'm like, fuck. I hated myself. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good, man. I've kind of had that nickname since I fought 3 times in one night in Colorado at the King of Sparta tournament. I took the fight on 2-day notice and got in the tournament, and I won the whole tournament. And my buddy was like, man, you're custom made. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to take things and run with it. And I ran with it that night. And they announced me custom made Cody Durden, and I won the whole tournament. And I went out there without a corner man, and Justin Gaethje saw me boxing in the first fight. And I came back and I was like, I told you, Justin, I'm going to win this whole dang tournament. And he was like, man, where's your coach? I was like, I don't have one. I flew out here with my parents on 2-day notice. And he was like, well, I'll be your coach. And me and Justin Gaethje won the whole tournament.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. We're here to talk about all the madness that went down Saturday night, but I want to hear about this. So you rock up to a multiple fight in one night kind of tournament with no coaches, just your parents. So how did you even end up doing that? I mean, what's like your background and stuff?
So I started off wrestling in high school, and then, I got into MMA. I went through a bad breakup, and I just hated the world. And so my buddy was fighting, and I was like, man, let me come try that. So I went and tried it out, and, he kicked my butt every day, but I was just obsessed with it, because I was a state champion in high school. And then I had a kid at a young age. I was 20 years old, and I couldn't go to college and wrestle. And I was like, man, I can do this MMA, So I literally worked from like 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. or to 4 p.m. And then I got off work and I'd go train. And I just stuck with it, man. I never left. It was a way to release stress, the anger. Everybody knows that I'm pretty hot headed. So it's like, man, I'm just like you, Bisping.
It certainly does seem like it, because that's why Saturday night you go out. The finish was beautiful. The entire fight, man, you were fighting your ass off. You were just like, we're going to have it. We're going to have a tear up. And it was an amazing fight. You get the finish. I walk in and you are hyped up to the max. You're screaming, you're shouting. You're like, Bisping, I took that shit on 4 days notice. I took it on Tuesday and I was hammered on Monday.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, we got to talk on the podcast.
Yeah. So, in America, Labor Day was on Monday. So Monday was a holiday. And so Sunday night, me and my wife and a bunch of friends went out. And dude, I laid in bed all day Monday. I was hurting. And I went to sparring Tuesday, and I sparred 5 rounds. I did all right. And I got on Twitter. I saw Matt Schnell's opponent pulled out. So I tagged McMaynard, tagged Dana White, said, listen, I'm here to fight. Family, friends, or teammates. I don't care. Let's make it happen. With all due respect, Matt Schnell. So my manager called me. He's like, what just happened? Did you say something? And I was like, yeah, I got on Twitter, and he was like, well, they're offering you the fight. And I said, well, can we push it back? And then he said, no, they want it this weekend. I said, all right, well, I'll give it. My wife was like, you already said something now. And I was like, all right, well, let's do this, give me a new contract and let's do it at 135 and I'll show up and I'll fight. And dude, I mean, honestly, Bisping, I'm training, I'm a professional athlete and I train every day, but there's a difference in fight camp and, not drinking at all. And on Monday, I had huge brownies. My wife made some brownies, so there's a huge difference in being in fight shape and then being in shape. You saw me on Saturday night and I was in shape, but it was nowhere near fight shape. And I felt it after the first round. Honestly, I felt it, but it's, I'm a professional, 11 fights in the UFC, never missed weight. The only time I had to pull out of a fight is when I got armbarred by Jake Hadley. You were there. I was supposed to fight 5 weeks later, but I couldn't fight because my arm was messed up. And so I show up, man. I show up. I give this sport my all. And sometimes I don't know why I do the things I do. I don't know why I fought this past weekend, but I was there and I showed up and I backed up everything I said, So it reminds me of UFC 199.
Let's go. Let's go.
2-week notice, except there wasn't a belt on
you had line. You teased me up before you will start saying, "Oh, Bisping's talking about himself." Cody brought it up. I said this. I said this on the broadcast. Your last fight was against Bruno Silva, and you were having an amazing fight. Right, you were in control of that fight, and I forget what happened. He caught you with a shot halfway through the second round, I think, and it changed everything. But you were dominating that fight, and I said, or I alluded, maybe that fight left a bad taste in your mouth because, you're controlling a fight, and Bruno Silva's not an easy man to beat for anybody, and you make one mistake, and that's just what a bitch this sport is. Did that kind of play into it, that you wanted to get back in there? And then this opportunity arose and you're like, you know what, screw it, let's do it.
Honestly, the shortcomings of that fight, it kind of put me in a depressive state, where of course I'm not a coward. I'm still going to train. I'm still going to go to practice and stuff. But, where I just wanted to drink a lot, I just wanted to, be sad for a little bit. And that's exactly what I did. And but yeah, man, I was dominating that whole fight and I got caught with an uppercut. And I learned from that fight, man, because everything went right that training camp. 8 weeks, Coconut Creek, Florida, staying in the dorms. I mean, I was eating right, drinking right. I mean, everything went perfect. No injuries. And then I went out there and lost. And then you see how I was so confident in that fight, and you see how I went out there and I didn't fight to the best of my abilities last weekend, man. I mean, the uncertainty was in my head, thinking about the drinking, thinking about the brownies, thinking about, I had a staph infection on my arm 2 weeks ago. If you can see it right there. I didn't train for 9 days 2 weeks ago. I was out and I was just depressed, and I had 1 week of training and then it was fight week, so I literally took this fight on like 9 days, 10 days of training. So yeah, it's just crazy how life works, man. It's crazy how life works, man. You can have everything go right and go in your way and then you lose, and then you can have uncertainty. You can have less confidence, because confidence breeds success and success breeds confidence. And when you don't have those two together, because everything's not going your way, then the uncertainty gives you anxiety. It gives you adrenaline. And I had some of that this fight. Going into the Bruno Silva fight was a perfect situation. No anxiety, no adrenaline. I mean, just me in there having fun. And, I was sharp as a tack until I wasn't. But also I learned from that. If you see, I rocked Bruno Silva and he shot in on me and I was just hungry for that finish. So I rolled the anaconda and I locked it in twice and he got out of it. Well, I just knew that if Matt shot on me, I just knew in that particular moment when I was on Matt, I was like, he's aware of the anaconda. So I faked it. I squeezed it tight for a second and then I went straight to the neck and locked it in. So I kind of baited him. I knew he was film watching me. I knew he knew that I hit that on Jake Hadley as well. And so, man, it just the fight IQ was there. And I learned from the last fight.
So it's crazy. So like you kind of expected him to expect the anaconda and you switched it up to the ninja choke. And by the way, when you got top position, the pressure, you were really driving that shoulder in as well as squeezing like crazy. I mean, I'm not surprised he tapped. But you bring up something really interesting there because you're right. It's like, yeah, we want to have a perfect training camp. We want to, do 8 weeks and work with a nutritionist and do everything you're meant to do, but that can bring a little bit of complacency. When you do it on short notice, the way that you did, and you brought up when I fought Rockhold at 199, same thing for me. I was like, I threw my name in the hat. I didn't think I was going to get it. You know,
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to get some solid fucking brownie points and maybe get a good matchup or a main event in my next one because Bisping was that guy. He was willing to. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm fighting him again. I haven't been training. I was boozing every night, and I was in Canada for ages. But because of that, I'm like, well, I can't go 5 rounds. I'm just gonna have to swing, you know, and I got the knockout. Yeah.
That's why you saw me, you know, I wasn't in there sticking and moving. I was in there to finish him, you know, and that's why I think that I got I'm better than that. You know, it made me more tense. It made me, you know, off balance with my punches. It like there's a better version of me, you know, but who cares, man? I got it done. I got it done on 4-day notice, man, with my wife in my corner, you know. That's my rock. You know, she was just like, let's get babysitters. Call your mom. I'll call my mom. Wow. Let's get it done. Boom. And then we're on a flight within, you know, hours. And I think that's my 3rd or 4th time doing that in my career. And I'm undefeated on short notice like that, except Chris Gutierrez, 6-day notice. I fought him my debut and I got a draw. So I can't beat that.
That is, had your wife ever been in your corner before?
No, man. I don't.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
No. You can't have that. Keep that down. Keep that down. I get it, bro. I get it. So this is crazy. So you're on a 2-fight losing streak. I hate to say that, but it adds to the pressure and it paints a picture. And you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you and your wife jump on a plane. You fly to Vegas. Your wife corners you. I mean, what like a journey to share with your wife. Because I've been through similar things. There'll come a time when your lady and you will sit down when you're a bit older and you'll be like, man, remember that weekend? Remember what we did?
Yeah, you know, it's one to remember. You know why, Bisping? It's life-changing money, man. I might be something after fighting now. You know, I might have something after fighting now. And some fighters, you know, most fighters, I wouldn't say some, most fighters, they don't have anything after fighting. And that's my whole goal, man. I've always worked hard. You know, I didn't get in the UFC till I was 29 years old. You know what I was doing before that? I had kids. I had mortgage. I had 2 car payments. You know, I had a big boy job. You know, fighting was just for fun, and fighting is what I wanted to do. But I had responsibilities. So when I got that call and I quit my job for 12 and 12, it was like, what are you doing? You know, people are saying you were just making $130,000 a year at your job and you quit it, you know, to do this. And I was like, look, man, I can always come back to the box plant, you know, just because I'm a supervisor over 18 people, you know, that's not what I want to do. I want to chase this dream. And dude, I risk it all just like I did this past weekend. And now it's turning out for me. You know what I mean?
That's crazy though, because as you say, $130K a year, you had a really good job. You had a great job. Like I worked minimum wage. You know, I had no choice. That's why I started fighting. But you had it all set. You had a mortgage. You had a family. You had a great job. You essentially had the American dream. But for you, you're like, I need this. This is who I am.
Yeah. And I got that. You know, I'm here today because of my character, you know. I know a lot of the times I get overwhelmed, you know, like you were holding on to the mic in Nashville after I beat Jake Hadley. You were holding on for dear life. Like, we don't know what Durden's going to say, you know, and I think it's got a lot to do with maturity, you know. I get so hype and I've learned to control it now, just like I did Saturday night. You know, I've learned to control the emotions, control the anxiety, and control the excitement, the adrenaline. And I think that comes with time, but this is everything I work for. You know, a lot of it has to do with, you know, like I said, my character and my discipline. When I worked at the box plant for 5 years and I climbed the rankings there, dude, I had 2 years of excellent attendance. Like, I got a bonus 2 years in a row because I never missed a day of work ever. And I was still fighting at the same time. And not only was I fighting, I was winning, you know? So it was like, man, I showed up to work, I showed up to training, and every day my wife had dinner in the stove when I got home at 9:30 at night. And I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. I did that for 9 years. Most fighters just work, try to make it by and stuff. I wasn't doing that. I was like, man, I'm going to do both. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But if it does, it does. And then I got to the call to the UFC on a 7-fight win streak. I was 11-2 and 7-fight finish streak. So
I tell you, Cody, hearing you talk like this and hearing you speak about your wife like that, it almost brings a tear to my eye. It really does, because it reminds me of my kind of journey in some ways. But it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to hear, though, man. It's beautiful to hear how you keep mentioning your wife, because you can't go through something like this unless you have a support system like that. And yeah, you don't have to, and not everybody does. But for me, it's like she was my rock, and it seems like it's the same thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they all crazy though.
Oh yeah. do you do a lot of interviews, Cody? Because you got to do more.
I've gotten better, like I'm just me. This is me. This is 100% me. I don't get anxiety. I don't get adrenaline anymore. I don't care what you think of me. My bank account thinks highly of me, and it's just me.
Right. So you said something there, right? This is the thing. And I everyone calls me a company man and all the rest of it. It's like, I know the UFC. I know how it works. I know the potential that we all have as fighters, right? Mm-hmm. And either you're good enough to make it, or you're not good enough to make it. And if you're not good enough to make it, then tough shit. Go back down and find another job, because this is for the best fighters on the planet. But you're talking like you just got a new contract. I'm assuming you're happy. I don't want numbers or anything like that, but this whole life of being a fighter sounds like it's working out for you pretty well.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Bisping, I want to be the best. I don't know if I'm the best. I can't tell you if I'm the best, but I know I want to be the best. And I put in the work every day. And I try my best, and that's all you can do. That's why, I took this fight. That's why I take all fights. Haven't turned down any fights, Well, I did turn down Bruno Silva at first because we were teammates and we were training together. And then he said yes, and then I said no. And I said, wait a second. He said yeah. I said, oh hell no, we're fighting now.
You're like, you son of a bitch.
You want to come up to me and you want to train with me every day, and you want to be cool with me, and then you want to fight me. Okay, we'll fight, and
how was that after the fight?
It was fun, man. I mean, he won. It was his night. What can I say?
No, but I mean on a personal level, he's like, he ain't coming over the barbecues anymore.
No, that. Sorry, nah, screw that. He's not coming to the barbecue. You're not invited.
Yeah, exactly. So the new contract, are you going to be staying at bantamweight? That's your weight class, right?
No, I fight at flyweight. Yeah. I just
short notice.
4-day notice. I can't. I tried. I wasn't in fight shape. I walk around 42, 144, but having the staph infection on my arm and taking antibiotics and having 1 week of training, when I got the call, when I took the fight, I was 151. I was like, oh God. So let's do it at bantamweight. And I made bantamweight, luckily.
So Sunday night, you go out, you're having a great time, and rightly so. What were you drinking? What's the drink of choice?
I was drinking Jack and Coke.
Let's go. You wake up Monday, you're feeling like shit. You go to the gym on Tuesday. You get the call. You get on Twitter on Tuesday. You get the call on Tuesday. Your manager's like, what the hell? You and your wife jump on a plane Wednesday, we'll call it. You're 151. You make weight. You go and have the fight. You have an absolute goddamn war. Get an amazing submission. Get the win bonus. Get a $50,000 bonus on top of that. Let's go again. What was the celebrations like with you and your wife after? What did you do in Vegas?
Man, I went to the craps table, And
no.
funny story. Funny story. I was in the elevator on Wednesday at the Palace Station. I look down and I see a quarter, and the quarter's on heads. I look at my corner man. I'm like, man, you see this? And he looks down. He's like, yeah. I said, I don't know if I should pick it up or not. And he was like, it's up to you. And I picked the quarter up, and I could not lose anything last weekend, bro. I went to the craps table and I won so much money. and then I went back to the blackjack table on Sunday morning before I left, and I won a lot
Still
more.
buzzed?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't go to bed till like 4:40 in the morning. Yeah. Me and my corner man stayed up all night.
Well, and rightly so. And there's a saying in England about what you're talking about there. See a penny, pick it up. For the rest of the day, you'll have good luck. And there it is. See a quarter, you pick that bastard up. Cody, love talking to you. What an amazing performance, man. That it really was. It really was. And I'm a fan for life after that. And I just loved, that's why in the Octagon, I said, we got to get you on the podcast, man. Yeah. I loved your energy. I loved watching your career. Saturday night was phenomenal. I loved learning more about you. And let's do it again soon, man.
Hey, Bisping. Thank you, man. Hey, I'm glad you like me, man. I didn't know if you liked
bro. Come on. We're homies now.
I promise you one thing, dude. I'm maturing as we go, and my post-fight interviews are going to be a lot better.
Bring, if you're with me, I like them, the interviewee to bring it. You know what I mean? Give us something. Give us a viral moment. But all jokes aside, speaking of maturing in the sport, it took me a long time. That's why I didn't win the belt till I was 37, because this was still a mess upstairs, but we figure it out at our own times. We go along. Seems like you're doing fantastic things. Technically, it's all there. The boxing's there, the grappling's there, the conditioning, everything else. Don't worry about having a few drinks. That's what makes you who you are as well. So you need that madness in there. Just keep doing what you're doing, brother. You got a great team around you, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Bisping.
Right on. Congrats to you and your wife. There he is. He's gone. I'm by myself. Harrington, quick, get on the bloody show. He was meant to say goodbye, have a little fond farewell. Another award-winning interview.
Dude, absolutely incredible. Like that, coming home 9 p.m. at night, every night, food on the stove. How does it get any better than that? I mean, it's almost like he's calling when he hits a certain landmarker so she knows.
Yeah, but it's like, exactly. Yeah, he read the book. No, but I'm telling you, when I said it almost brought a tear to me, I did. Like you go through these moments with your wife, and that's your confidant. That's your best friend, and like they know what's going on up there, and what a crazy story. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, and he's probably thinking, shit, if I lose one more, I might get cut. He gets a call. He puts a tweet out, gets a call. Him and his wife fly to Vegas. She's in the corner, gets the victory, gets a bonus, gets the submission. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what a weekend in the Durden household. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And then add that the craps and blackjack gambling. Sorry, I'm just looking here. I see Cody's wife sat down next to him, and she's just hearing us heap this praise on her. So this is
are they still here?
Household. Yeah, they're hanging out in the background.
Get him back on. This is so for anyone watching thinking, what the hell's going on? Like, they don't leave in the background. They're still there. They can stay. Hi there. Nice to meet you. I think you guys are muted. Got to unmute it, Cody. Jesus. You're muted.
Hey, how are you? I didn't know you guys see me. I never sat down. He was like, it's fine. It's over. That's why I was going to watch the rest of the show. But wow.
No. It was over. But I'm glad you're on. Sorry, pardon me. I'm Michael. What's your name?
Britney.
Yeah. What did you think when Cody said, hey, come and corner me? Let's fly to Vegas. Let's do this.
Well, I mean, we've done crazier things before. So, I mean, it was a whirlwind, finding a babysitter for my daughter and our dog and stuff. But our family really supports us. They stand behind us. They knew we needed to go. So we're blessed for that. But, I mean, I was just like, well, screw it. We're going. Yeah. But we've done this type of thing before. So.
Just not at this level.
Not at this level, yeah.
I'm assuming that you don't have proper combat sports experience.
No, my fight IQ isn't like the best, obviously.
She's a Barbie doll.
I was there for moral support.
Yeah. She's your beautiful wife. But it doesn't matter. You don't want technical advice. You've done all that, Cody. You know what people are going to say. And yeah, that's great to have and all the rest of it. But in those moments where you've rolled the dice, you just want your ride or die by your side. You know what I mean? With my lady in the corner, there'd be no man alive would be beating me. My wife was in the corner.
Positive affirmations. That's what I said. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well,
all positive.
Yeah, I would never say anything negative or give advice. Like I said, my fight IQ isn't the best, but like I know when he needs to uppercut, when a good knee should be involved, but you can only say so much. I was just there for moral support. So he didn't have to go through the weight cut alone or do anything like that by himself, because that would suck.
She's always there for the weight cut.
I'm always there for the weight cut. And I'm always in the stands, but this is my first time in the corner and probably my last, but it was a cool
Probably, I don't know, maybe. Let me ask you this.
But it was a pretty cool experience, and I was grateful to be there. So yeah.
So he had a successful night. Of course, you got a nice bonus as well, so that's always fantastic. What's going through your mind when he's downstairs? He's at the craps table, and you're like, Jesus, Cody, don't go and blow it all. What are you doing?
Full disclaimer,
I went to bed. I'm a grandma.
She had no idea.
By 1 o'clock in the morning, I was like, bye. I'm going up to the room and I'm going to sleep. So what he did after that,
Hey, there ain't no telling what I did.
Yeah, right.
No idea. Right. Listen, I've got some of the guests jumping on shortly. So
but okay.
I'm going to have to say bye. Britney, it's lovely to meet you, Cody. Amazing. Love it. Congrats again, guys. And this time, get out of here.